Good day, everyone. Our lesson for today will be software process and software engineering practice. Our learning outcomes for this lesson are as follows. Let us start by defining the term framework. A framework is a standard way to build and deploy applications. So, what is a process framework? A process framework or software process framework establishes the foundation for a complete software engineering process by identifying a small number of framework activities that are applicable to all software projects regardless of their size and complexity. It encompasses a set of umbrella activities that are applicable across the entire software process. So remember, process framework or software process framework identifies in detail the needed activities to all software projects. The next slide shows an illustration of a software process framework. Let us now discuss the different activities involved in the process framework. There are five activities involved: communication, planning, modeling, construction, and deployment. The first activity is communication. In this activity, heavy communication with customers and other stakeholders requirement gathering is done. This means that you will be in constant communication with the people involved in the system development. This may be through interviews or meetings. The next activity is planning. This activity discusses the technical related tasks, work schedules, risk, required resources, and many more. This is a crucial activity. Everything must be planned carefully and all possible scenarios must be seen. Modeling will be the next activity. Modeling is about building representations of things in the real world. In modeling activity, a product model is created in order to better understand the requirements. You might have heard of the term prototype. By creating a prototype, you will have a better understanding of what you have already done and what improvements or modifications are needed. The next activity is construction. In software engineering, construction is the application of set of procedures that are needed to assemble the product. In this activity, we generate the code and test the product in order to make it better. Lastly, we have deployment. In this activity, a complete or non-complete product or software are represented or presented to the customers to evaluate and give feedback. On the basis of their feedback, we modify the products for supply better or to supply better products. So don't forget, the five activities involved in the process framework are communication, modeling, planning, construction, and development. Under these processes are the umbrella activities of process framework. This is as important as the main activities in the process framework. There are 8 umbrella activities. Let us now discuss them one by one. First is risk management. Risk management assesses the risk that may affect the outcome of the product or the quality of the product. Second is software quality assurance or SQA. The SQA defines and conducts the activities required to ensure software quality. Third, we have the software project tracking and control. This allows the software team to assess progress against the project plan and take any necessary action to maintain the schedule. Fourth is the formal technical reviews of or FTR. It assesses the software engineering work products in an effort to uncover and remove errors before they are propagated to the next activity. Fifth will be measurement. Measurement defines and collects process, project, and product measures that assist the team in delivering software that meets stakeholders' needs. These can be used in conjunction with all other framework and umbrella activities. The sixth umbrella activity is the software configuration management. The software configuration management manages the effects of change throughout the software process. The seventh umbrella activity is reusability management. The reusability management defines criteria for work product reuse, including software components, and establishes mechanism to achieve reusable components. Lastly, we have work product preparation and production. This encompasses the activities required to create work products such as models, documents, logs, forms, and lists. All these activities are essential in producing a quality software that will meet all the system requirements it is intended to produce. You now go to the 7 principles of software engineering practice. So the first principle is the reason it all exists. A software system exists for one reason, and that is to provide value to its user. The second principle is KISS, short for keep it simple, stupid. Software design is not a haphazard process. There are many factors considered in any design effort. All design should be as simple as possible but not simpler. This facilitates having a more easily understood and easily maintained system. The third principle is maintain the vision. A clear vision is essential to the success of a software project. Without one, a project almost unfailingly ends up or two or more minds about itself. The fourth principle is what you produce, others will consume. Seldom is an industrial strength software system conducted and used in a vacuum. In some way or other, someone else will use, maintain, document, or otherwise depend on being able to understand your system. The fifth principle will be to be open to the future. A system with a long lifetime has more value. In today's computer environments, where specifications change on a moment's notice and hardware platforms are obsolete just a few months old, software lifetimes are typically measured in months instead of years. The sixth principle is plan ahead for reuse. Reuse saves time and effort. Achieving a high level of reuse is arguably the hardest goal to accomplish in developing a software system. The reuse of code and designs has been proclaimed as a major benefit of using object oriented technologies. And last, the seventh principle, think. This last principle is probably the most overlooked. Placing clear, complete thought before action almost always produce better results. When you think about something, you are more likely to do it right. You also gain knowledge about how to do it right again. If you do think about something and still do it wrong, it becomes a valuable experience. And those are the seven principles of software engineering practices or practice. And that concludes this lesson. Here are some of the references used in this lesson.